Okay, so our last speaker today is Mr. Yusuke Miyoshi. Title of his speech is Mutual Understanding in an Aging World.
Hello everyone, I'm Yusuke Miyoshi from Japan, and I'm researching about social policies at UEA. And fortunately or unfortunately, I'm the final speaker, and I'm really nervous. So please forgive me to have this cunning seat. Yes. Okay, let's go to the speech. So the other speaker talked about the idea of world citizen from the perspective of multiculturalism. But today I'll talk about our future life in an aging world from the intergenerational perspective. And also I'll talk about the dignity of human life in the world. Maybe some of you already know Japan, which is my home country, is the most rapidly aging country in the world. The aging rate was 28% in 2017, and the number will be predicted to be 38% in 2050. It means that almost half of the population will be aged 65 and over. Can you imagine that kind of world? It's like this. Oh, that super age society reminds me of my favorite movie, Uncle Drew. In this movie, these 6 elderly uncle beats young player in a basketball game. That's a nice movie. Yeah. Okay, so let's go back to the speech. I said there will be many elderly in the future. However, what does the population aging mean for you? We know there are many elderly in the society, just look at the statistics. But how much do we know about the elderly as individuals or their families? Some of you may be thinking, how does this concern me? However, we are all aging. Our loved ones are aging. Also, our pets are also aging. There are many issues about population aging, but one of the essential problems of it, I believe, is who and how society and people support the aged population who needs long-term care, especially how we support the people who have Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease, which is part of dementia, is a collective name for progressive brain syndrome, which affects memory, thinking, behavior, and emotion. And symptoms may include loss of memory or changes in a person's personality and mood. Dementia is a leading cause of disability and dependency among the elderly, and even some young people who suffer from it. And it is very tough on the people who are suffering from the disease themselves and for their family caregiver. And actually, I was a family caregiver. I cared for my grandmother who had Alzheimer's disease. Oh. Yeah, that is my grandmother and young me. Yeah. My grandparents raised me because my mother passed away after she gave birth to me. I enjoyed life with my grandparents in a really small village in Japan. But when I was 13 years old, my grandfather passed away and my grandmother got Alzheimer's disease. Then I started my life with my dementia grandmother. At first, although she had difficulties in remembering, she did do many household chores and her mood was relaxed. However, several months later, her behavior changed. She suddenly started to clean the house at midnight, and also she had continuous mood swings. Sometimes she was angry, sometimes she was happy, sometimes depressed, all in a very short period. I remember one time when we ate dinner at a department store, she couldn't find her way back to the restaurant because she couldn't remember the restaurant's location or couldn't even remember that she had eaten the dinner at the restaurant. So she thought her grandchild, that's me, had gotten lost. When in reality, she was the one who got lost. So she went to a customer service and asked that they help for her grandchild, which ended with them calling for me through their instant microphone. It sounds like a joke now, but at that time, I did not know much about Alzheimer's disease and simply didn't have the patience. So I said terrible words to her, such as all battle arcs. Then she got depressed and her symptoms became worse. Several years after, she no longer recognized me nor remembered my name. However, at that time, she had difficulties in remembering or her mood. She enjoyed cooking or chatting with her neighbors and enjoyed her life at the same time. That was my experience in Japan, yet population aging is not just a phenomenon found in Japan or UK or other developed countries. Developing countries are also experiencing it. The United Nations predicted the world population would approach 9.8 billion in 2050, and out of that, 2.1 billion will be aged 60 and over. And 80% of the aged population will live in developing countries. So majority of the aged population will live in developing countries. And the number of people who suffer from dementia will triple by 2050. So I believe the aging population and increasing dementia is one of the world's foremost issues, like climate change or refugee crisis. And everyone needs to think about this problem. To support people who have Alzheimer's or dementia, support from medical experts is not enough. We need to understand dementia correctly and eliminate prejudices towards it. Certainly, people with dementia may not be able to do what they have done and may need assistance. However, they still can do many things by themselves and even more with support, like my grandmother. It is important that we do not merely support people with dementia, but also transform into a society that can help people maintain vibrant life. Why is it hard to treat other people regardless of their race, ages, or people with disabilities or diseases? With respect, dignity. Let us consider what kind of support they need or not from their standpoints. The attitude of trying to understand from their perspective, including people with dementia, should be a priority to all of us in this rapidly aging and diversified world. Thank you.